battlefield to backcountry. In these times of uncertainty, it is important to find communities that share your value and interest. Cryptic has built a reputation for excellence in outdoor gear, providing effective camouflage patterns for all kinds of activities, everything from hunting to tactical operations. Their commitment to quality and epic design is evident in their range of apparel and gear, making Cryptic the perfect choice for any outdoor adventure. Don't miss out on gearing up for the upcoming hunting season with Cryptic today. Hey there, fellow hunters and shooting enthusiasts. Are you tired of ear-ringing shots and the fear of permanently damaging your hearing? Nobody wants to be that old guy. Look no further than Silencer Central. These top-of-the-line silencers not only protect your hearing, but also allow for that second shot if needed. The target's not even spooked by the crack of the rifle. They also provide a ship-in barrel threading service, making the process easy and precise. Speaking of easy, don't let the paperwork process from the ATF deter you. Silencer Central makes it easy. They will walk you through the online forms over the phone. Upgrade your hunting game and protect your hearing with Silencer Central. Well, Aaron, it is a pleasure to meet you, and I'm glad that you're here in Billings, Montana. It's not quite our hometown. We just live south of here in Wyoming, about an hour and a half, but this is where we come to hang out, and I'm glad you came up here to hang out with us.
Man.
It's awesome.
Thanks for having me, and it's nice to be in some cooler weather for a
Yeah,
while.
I'll bet. You guys have been cooking in Texas,
Yeah,
right?
It's been a little heated.
So do you live in Abilene?
I live a little south. We live out in the country.
Okay.
So, I was actually, before I left, I went out to grill, and the thermometer on the grill was already at 200. And I was like, okay, maybe I don't even need to grill.
I don't even turn the propane on or the pellets. We'll just throw it in there. And
that's right.
Slow cook it.
Slow cook that sucker.
That's crazy. And this is unusual, the amount of heat, right? The length.
Yeah, it's been a little nasty.
Yeah.
So
crazy. So, Aaron, where were you? You were born in Texas, right? Mm-hmm. Where were you born?
I was born in Amarillo.
Okay.
So
tell me about growing up in Amarillo as Aaron Watson. What did your parents do?
Oh gosh. So my dad's a veteran.
Okay.
Dad's 100% disabled from serving in Vietnam. He got injured, and mom's a school teacher. So our mom was, doing her thing. I helped my dad out a lot with his cleaning business.
Okay.
Dad was a custodian and a hero.
Yeah.
So
Vietnam, that is, my dad's a Vietnam vet, and he's 60% disabled.
Wow. Yeah. Well,
Agent Orange was a bad thing.
It was.
Over there.
Tell him I said thank you for his service.
So
too. I grew up working with Dad and playing baseball and church stuff, and I was in scouts. And
so you went on to college baseball, right?
Yeah, I did. I played left out. I started at left out and the bench and foul ball shagger. No, I went to junior college, and then I went on to ACU, and I had an injury, but I loved baseball. That was probably my first love. And as that door shut, another one opened. I started playing that guitar. I've always loved country music, thanks to Dad. Me and Dad cleaning.
That's what you listen to?
Listening to old classic country music stations there in Amarillo. So that's awesome. That's my roots.
So you didn't play guitar, like grow up playing guitar or none of that. You started that. Did you one day go, I guess baseball done, now what do I do? Or how did that happen?
Basically, yeah, I kind of was messing with the guitar a little bit, and the baseball thing folded up on me, and I was like, well, what am I going to do with all my time? And I started strumming the guitar a little bit, and I think it started with, a girlfriend, riding shotgun there in the truck, and I'm singing along with George or whoever I was listening to, and she was like, well, you sound like you can sing a little bit. I think that's kind of where it began. I was like, really? You think so?
You're not just saying that?
You're not just saying that?
It's one thing if my mom says. It's a whole different thing.
Do you tell that to the other boys? So, but, that's kind of where it started. And, going to church, I'm a Church of Christ boy. There's no instruments. It's just all about the singing.
Yeah.
And if you don't sing good, everybody's going to hear it.
My right-hand man is a Church of Christ guy,
Yeah.
and I tease him all the time. I said, there's harps in the Bible, right?
Oh yeah.
And he of course he rolls his eyes at me because his kids and him are really into music, and
Yeah.
he's got 4 kids that play the mandolin and all this stuff, and I tease him. I'm like, you can do that in church, and
Yeah.
he's not real happy.
Being a honky tonk singer, and then going to the Church of Christ where there's going from a full band to, a cappella, no instruments it's a pretty good.
That's awesome.
Change for me. It's like I don't lead singing at church. I need a guitar. I've told him, I said, well, here's the deal. If I can bring my guitar up there, I don't have to strum it.
Just let me hold it.
I got to have something to hold. And I said, or at least let me, those guys get up there with their pitch pop. At least let me get up there and strum the first chord so I know where to begin.
They haven't allowed that yet.
No, I haven't allowed that yet. But I think between singing at church and me and my dad listening to music, Dad has a great vinyl collection. Mm-hmm. Lots of Willie and Waylon and Merle and Johnny Cash and all the legends in there. I think that's probably where I got most of my influence.
Yeah. So one of the interesting things, of course, I've followed you unbeknownst. In fact, my wife and I were just talking about this on the way here. Unbeknownst, we were listening to your music before we knew who you were.
Okay,
the Freight Train was a song. In fact, I had an argument with one of my guys. I'm like, no, I don't think he wrote that. I said, I thought I listened to that like in the 90s. He goes, no, he wrote it. It came out in 2014.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So what's interesting to me is you've never went under a label. Mm-hmm. You never, you're staying, we're sitting in a honky tonk in Billings, Montana. You're going to play tonight. Mm-hmm. How have you kept that? And is it on purpose? Was the whole thing done on purpose to stay honky tonk out of the label? Because I know you've opened for Dierks Bentley and stuff, so there's obviously some connections to labels. But
yeah, I mean, it's that was by design. I mean, we've had 5 or 6 albums chart top 10 on Billboard. We've had a couple of #1 albums independently. We've had some top 40s, a top 10 nationwide, and I mean, honestly, there's not another independent artist that has done that. And I'm not bragging upon myself. I'm first to admit I'm the most incredibly average country boy on the face of God's green earth, but I do have pretty good work ethic. And, if you work at something long enough, what is it? Blind hog finds an acorn, and that's with me. It's like after 20 years of playing places and putting on the best shows I can put on and hanging out with the fans afterwards and taking pictures and shaking hands and just visiting, I think you build up a fan base. And, we had a lot of success in 2000, probably 15 to 18, a lot of success. And we had an opportunity where we could have pushed it to that major label kind of thing. But for me, it's always my true love is writing songs. And a lot of the major label guys can say whatever they want to say. But I've seen so many of them, they sign that deal, and then the next record they put out, they don't write hardly any of the songs. Right. And I can't even begin to imagine what that would be like for me. Like, for me, I'm just like, I'm very content. It's like always content, never satisfied. Mm-hmm. And I never thought I'd have a nice stone home with hundreds of acres, and I mean, I've been blessed. So I don't really look at, there's been so many guys that have opened up shows for me that are winning awards now. I don't look at those guys and go, oh, that could have been me. I mean, I think to myself, if I want that, I could go get it right now. Uh-huh. But the biggest thing was when there were those big opportunities, I had to make a decision personally. Was I willing to give up all that time away from my children? And when you go back and you look at where my kids were in, 2015, 16, 17, they were little. Yeah. And they needed me there. So now they're getting to the age where I can bring them out on the road and do stuff like that.
Well, you have a son that played with you.
Oh yeah, he would be here today, but his mom made him go to church camp.
Those are important things, especially at that age.
Yeah, he did not want to go to church camp, and I was like, dude, can you do me a favor and just make your mama happy?
She doesn't have very many of these left.
If you argue, you're throwing the old man under the bus. Just zip it and go to church camp, and we'll play next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So, family man, obviously, which is awesome. I travel a ton, and I have two girls, 10 and 13, and those young ages are really formal. That's when I read something recently. It said that if your kid is polite and a good kid around people, other kids and other adults, by the time they're 4, then they'll be great. And if you can't did it by 4, you've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I was I'm pretty old school with that. Like, I'm not like a big spanker. My dad, I think he may have whipped me for breakfast, lunch, and dinner till I was about 13 or 14. I wasn't exactly like that with my boys, but it was important early on that you just set those standards, and just have high expectations for them.
So I'm not the only one that had every time I hear somebody pull a belt through their loops really fast, I have I start running for cover. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. I'm telling you what. I actually have a guitar strap made out of the belt that my dad used to whip me with.
Really?
Yeah.
As a constant reminder.
Yeah, it had a nickname, Brownie.
Really?
Yeah, old Brownie. I think he lost Brownie for a few years, and then when we moved out of the house that we had lived in for 15 years, when they moved the refrigerator, somebody had thrown Brownie back behind that refrigerator.
Do you have siblings that could be taking the blame?
Yeah, my little sister. I was like, well, who would do such a thing? Who
would have thought that? That's just crazy.
Who would throw that?
I'll bet your dad was astonished when they found it.
Yeah, he probably wasn't too surprised with me.
So you're on tour. Is this a new tour? Because you came out with an album in 2022, right?
Yeah.
And so this is the tour for that album?
Kind of. I mean, we've kind of been on tour since forever, but the last 2020 really screwed things up, and it screwed up 2021 as well. And then just when things were getting back up and rolling, I injured my vocal cords and had to have surgery, and that put me out for about 4 months. So last year was kind of, so we're just playing catch up right now, and
So tell me about the vocal cord. Did it just happen? Like, did you wake up one morning and have, look at your wife and go, I can't, give me a scratch pad?
We had a show in Houston. It was outside. Everything was fine. The next night we played a show in Billy Bob's in Fort Worth, and it was a sold out show. And sometimes you wake up, just with that funk, and your throat's a little sore. But then that afternoon I tried to sing, and I could not sing. And I, instead of canceling the show, I was like, I'm not flushing that money down the toilet. Like I've always done for 20-something years, find a way to sing. I made some throat coat tea and some lemon and honey. And, I know I'm a Church of Christ boy, so I hope my mom doesn't see this. We put a little whiskey in there, and I just kind of plowed through the show. And I was hurting 3 or 4 days later. Went and saw the doctor. He said I need to take a weekend off. I took the weekend off, came back, played a show, felt great. The next night we played to another sold-out show in Denver, and it hit me right in the middle of the show. I could hardly sing. So we canceled the next show, and I went and saw a couple of specialists. And
the one good thing is, the way you've built your audience is they're extremely loyal, very sticky guys. I'm sure they completely understood and weren't worried about them, worried about you. Yeah, they were very understanding. And,
you know, there was a few people that kind of got nasty with me, and I'm like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense, right? Like,
really,
I'd rather not work, stay at home, and have to mow the yard all the time, and not go hang out with my buddies on a tour bus.
Yeah, do what I absolutely love.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Like I could get it if I'm calling in sick because we're gonna be driving T-posts all day, but playing music, no.
Yeah.
So, but 99.99% of the fans were understanding and sending love and prayers, and you know, but it's just life, man. You got to roll with the punches. The Dr. Simpson, the doctor who just, you know, he was a rock star for me, getting me better. He's based out of Birmingham. He's a Texas boy, but he's at UAB.
Okay.
And when you go see him and you're in the waiting room, right next to you is all the cancer patients. So it's hard to feel sorry for your little vocal cords when you're sitting with people that are fighting for their lives. So
and yeah, just, you know, that's a fight that is not fun to watch.
Yeah,
Gosh, damn.
I can honestly say that it didn't faze me.
Did it change your voice at all?
No.
I
think it made me a better singer. I think I'm a little more safe now. I've kind of changed some of my lifestyle habits, you know. Like, you know.
No more yelling at the kids.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. Like,
really?
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't, like, you know, if we're doing yard work and the boys are over there mowing or doing something, I don't scream at them to get their attention. You know, I don't, at their baseball games, that they're, you know, their sporting events.
Every parent needs that.
Yeah, and it's difficult, you know. Like when the boys are playing ball, I try to meet them at the dugout since I can't yell, and you know, I have to as a dad say, "Hey, come on, you know, let's." Yeah. You've been pulling off the ball a little bit. Why don't you smoke something over? We're thinking over the second baseman.
Yeah.
You know, I want you going the other way.
No longer yelling at which has probably made you a better parent too, because it's more calm. It's a lot less dramatic.
Yeah.
If you're not yelling it.
But you can still kick them.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't hurt the vocal cords, you know. So
you can still take your belt off if needed.
Yeah, you can still. I mean,
Brownie comes back.
Yeah, you can still, you know. But
so you have 2 boys and a girl?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? How old's the girl?
She's 13.
So she's the youngest.
Yeah, she's my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
And
girls are...
the boys know it.
Yeah. Are you nervous about a high school girl, about a teenage girl?
Not really. I mean, she already acts like she's 30.
She's an old soul then.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, yeah, she's
that's awesome.
Who she is right now is who she is.
She's not going to change. Well,
yeah, she's...
I heard it the other day described as a tunnel. He said this guy was telling me about, he's got older kids, and I was telling him about mine just turned 13, and, you know, concerned at what's going to happen, you know, between 13 and 26, you always hear. He says, it's like a tunnel. They go into the tunnel, and you don't see them for a while. And, and they go dark, and you wonder, gosh, I hope they're okay in there.
Yeah.
And then they come out the other end. They're about 24, 25, and they're great adults, and they become friends.
Yeah.
He said, just remember, you and your wife have to be the light while they're in the tunnel.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't really give them a choice with some things. Like, I'm going to love on you. I'm going to joke with you. If you're going to give me some of that sass, that doesn't work with me. So it's going to make me pester you more.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like, I've told her I'm going to be a bully. If you act too good for dad, it's just going to make me, you might as well deal with me how I am.
Because it's just going to get
no
worse.
Avoiding this.
Yep.
You know, I'm like, who's the idiot that bought you Taylor Swift tickets? Me. And that counts for something. You owe me, lady, you know.
That's awesome.
My knees and my legs, my feet are still hurting from standing up at that concert for 4 hours.
I have
how many times I did this during the concert.
Yeah, I bet. I have not gone yet. Thankfully, we live in a really rural place. We get great artists like you, but I don't think Taylor Swift's ever been to Billings, Montana.
I don't think so. No.
If she does, I'm not telling my kids.
Yeah, don't tell them.
Well, that's awesome. So let me ask you this. One of the things, of course,
my audience are huge hunters. I mean, big game, big Western big game is their thing. And you're from Texas and you're a country boy. You obviously hunt.
Oh yeah.
So, do you hunt every year? You take your kids hunting?
Oh, we hunt all the time.
Do you?
I mean, yeah, we've got 400 something acres, and
Nice.
I've got it all tricked out for
deer.
hogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to bow hunt.
Do you?
Yeah.
What do you shoot?
I've got a Matthews.
Oh yeah, perfect.
I don't even know what Matthews I'm fixing to get. I have a pretty sweet deal worked out with my buddy. It's Corbin's Archery.
Oh yeah.
And Corbin's one of my friends. We went to church together. So Corbin has a deal with Matthews, and they send me a new bow every year. So
Yeah.
and
They're great people.
yeah, they are great people.
Christian, great
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Matthews. I've been shooting those since as long as I've been.
Did you know they make guitars?
Yeah.
McPherson does.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't realize that. We went out and hung out with Matt for a couple days, and he's like a mad scientist. He's literally like Iron Man. He has this place that he goes and tinkers with stuff and invents things. And
Well, I mean, you got to be with those bows.
it's a lot into them.
They're a work of art, and so are the guitars. So
Yeah.
they always send me a new bow. It's like I seem to get it like within a couple of weeks of bow season, and I'm always trying to get it set up and going. But yeah, the boys, and I've got guns galore. But I personally love to bow hunt. I mean,
Get in tight.
Yeah, and I get offered to go on amazing hunts. I mean, literally, I've been offered amazing hunts all over the world.
Yeah.
And I've never taken anyone up on that offer. And I tell people this is why. At this stage of my life, I'd rather shoot a spike with my kids than some world record elk. Because right now, for me, it's making those memories with the kids. And I pass up on just about everything that walks in front of me unless it's that one. Half the time I'm more of the scout.
Yeah.
Like, hey, there's a nice 10. I like glassing and getting out there, and we've got a couple of nice blinds that we've built.
Are you guys using box blinds, like elevated blinds, or are you on the ground?
We have both.
Yeah.
When I'm bow hunting, I like to be on the ground or in a tree.
Yeah.
I mean, and we've rattled things in and stuff like that, but I really like to just get out there and enjoy the sunrise,
Want to harvest the buck of your dreams on your next mule deer hunt? The Eastmans online mule deer course is guaranteed to elevate your skill set just in time for your next mule deer hunt. With over 100 video topics, the course covers everything from wilderness survival to the ins and outs of gear, where to find mule deer, hunt strategy, and much, much more. Dan Percar and Brian Barney, along with Guy Eastman, use their 80 years of combined experience to put together the most comprehensive mule deer instruction on the planet. Make the most of your mule deer tag this year and try Eastman's online mule deer course before you head into the field. They're so confident that this season you're going to be successful, they're going to give you a special offer. $10 off, a free knife, and a free set of Black Ovis game bags for that buck of a lifetime. Check it out at eastmans.com under the Learn tab.
It's something with being with nature, isn't it? When
yeah.
you turn the cell phone off and you're just entrenched with what's going on around you. I say this a lot to people, that if you just open your eyes, open your ears, and watch what's going on around you in nature. It doesn't matter if you live in a city. Nature's happening everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And it gives you a better sense of worth, I think, and a better sense of what's around you and what we're really here for.
Yeah, for sure. And it gives you a great appreciation for food.
Yes.
I mean,
100%.
It's, when you see the work it takes I can't tell you how many times, it's 12 degrees outside and the boys shoot something and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
You know,
I'll meet you there.
Okay. You know, I'll get up, and they've gotten to the point where they kind of like the freedom of going and hunting by themselves. So I will drop them off at some of the bow blinds, and then I'll go up, and in one of my nice box blinds, you know, I'll have the propane heater on and got a little sleeping bag and pillow.
I'm 45 years old.
Yeah.
I don't need to sit in that tree at 12 degrees anymore.
Yeah,
I don't have to.
I'll let them do that, and then they'll say, Dad, I just smoked this doe. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's awesome. Can you see it? No, but I think it was, and I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. And then I'm thinking, okay, now I get to go out, and the wind's howling 30 degrees, and but then tracking's fun, and then you loading it up and cleaning it and
butchering the whole
all the thing. It's a lot of work, and it's given them a great appreciation for food as well,
And that's time spent, I'm sure, maybe not at this stage, but when they were learning and you're sitting in the blind together, and just, you can't duplicate that time.
Oh, no.
With anything.
Yeah, before we had the ranch, we had a lease that was about an hour away, and literally I built this. It's a 6x8 at this place, and I had it fully insulated, nice windows, and the boys were little, were like 2 and 3.
Oh my gosh.
And I'd take them out there with me, and it'd be cold. And it was kind of our tent. And I'd have cooler full of food, and it was so cold outside, we just leave the cooler, down there below the blind. And I actually built this blind. It was the coolest setup. There was a big giant cedar tree, and it almost looked like a bush, right? That's a lot of those cedars look like just giant bushes. We put the blind, backed it up right to that cedar, and then on the back of that cedar, I cut out this big area that was literally big enough for me to pull my truck
into the bush.
Just
park it right there, and then have to pack everything.
Because they were so little.
Yeah.
I didn't like making them walk in the cold, so we'd pull it right in there. We'd get out. Dude, it was like the back cave pulling into that thing. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Do they remember it?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, they remember. We had and we'd go out there for 3 or 4 days.
And just sleep in the blind and camp in the blind, basically.
Yeah, we had a little 5-gallon bucket with a little toilet seat on it.
Yeah.
I got some great pictures. I've actually, one boy was actually sitting on the toilet in the corner of the blind while older brother was shooting a deer.
You got a photo of him in the foreground and him in the
whole yeah.
That's going to show up at a graduation.
Oh yeah, it is.
Or a wedding.
Oh yeah. That's so we just
awesome.
I think the biggest thing for me, I'm not much of a just see it, shoot it kind of guy. For me, I really love being outside. I get with the boys, I'm pretty I'm pretty big on let's shoot mature deer.
Yeah, management.
Let's manage things well, and so they've got a good eye for mature bucks, even mature does and stuff like that. And of course, the war on pigs the hogs is real. There's no mercy shown to those things.
No. I had no idea the problem that they arise until I went to Texas. I have a friend that lives outside of Dallas, between Dallas and Waco, and they have like 3,000 or 4,000 acres. It's insane. Absolutely insane.
It's absolutely insane.
They trap them like hundreds of pigs a week. It's insane.
Oh, it's crazy to see, 40 of them roll up on you.
Jeez.
But it's also fun.
I still, one of my bucket lists, I'm going to go shoot pigs out of a helicopter, because I think that
I've done it.
I don't think it's real. It's not real sporting, but it's okay. It's eradication.
It's sporting.
Yeah, that's got to be an absolute blast.
It takes some skill to.
Yeah, everything's moving.
Everything you're moving, they're moving.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've
It's like casting a fly rod in a river.
Oh, it's fun.
From a boat, everything's moving.
It's fun. I mean, I look back and I'm like, oh, I'm married with children and I'm hanging out of this helicopter
with this nice little line holding a AR.
Oh yeah.
Dumping 30 rounds a minute.
Oh yeah. But I have fun. I've got a little 300 blackout that's suppressed, and I've got that thing dialed in pretty good around 200 yards, and I can sit there when those hogs come in, and I wait till one of them wanders off a little bit and just
take them out. That's awesome.
Oh, I have so much fun doing that.
Oh, I just recently started shooting suppressed. The guys at Silencer Central hooked me all up, and that is a game changer, especially with kids. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's a huge game changer.
They're not scared of the noise. They're not, the recoil's not there. It's a
game changer. Yeah, that 300 blackout's a fun round, and even putting a can on a 308, it just takes the sting off of it.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Good for your ears too. It doesn't.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we have fun. We have a lot of fun.
Pigs. So, do you have a bunch of tours yet to go this summer?
Oh yeah, I don't even know. We're playing everywhere.
I saw your list and I was like, wow.
For me, it's my job. A lot of these artists, they have a tour and then they don't tour, and I'm like, well, what do you do?
Yeah, what do you do in between?
Then.
What do they tell you?
I don't know. I don't think they do anything.
Jeez, they must not like it.
For me, my wife, she needs me out of that house about every 3 or 4 days. She needs me out of the house.
Oh, so I'm not the only one that has a wife goes, is it about time for you to go somewhere?
Yeah.
Because you're really messing up our little schedule we got going on here.
Yeah, there's definitely that. But I just enjoy it. I love traveling. Yeah. I mean, this last month we've been, all up through the Midwest, Colorado up here. I mean,
border to border, basically.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hit the West Coast, Northwest. So I mean, I love to travel. I love to play. I love what I do. So I mean, awesome. It's not work to me. I mean, there's some things are work. I mean, like after the show, I'm tired, and I know I got another hour, 2 hours of talking ahead of me, but it's work. It's better than cleaning toilets. I did that for a while, so I want to do that.
Better than playing baseball and one day waking up and not being able to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I feel very blessed. So, and I'm very, it's like, this morning I woke up, made coffee, and I'm working on new songs. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I'm fixing to make the best record I've ever made.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So how do you just? Do you sit down with, okay, this is my writing time, and write?
Yeah, I think I write all the time.
Do you?
Yeah, I think I'm always thinking about ideas, and I'll get an idea and put it in my phone, or I'll hear a little melody, and I got some really jacked up sounding little. I'll sometimes go back and listen to something that I've hummed into my phone. It does not sound very good.
It's like that's not how it went. That's not how it went between my ears. But
yeah, I love to write. I mean, that's the thing is, I'm a songwriter. That's what I am.
Because you write all of your own stuff, right?
Yeah, I think we're working on album number 20. I think I've probably written 95% of everything.
Jeez. And you probably have songs that you've written that never went anywhere, or partial written. Or...
Yeah, oh yeah, gosh, I have those for days. And I try to go back and work on them, and every once in a while one will materialize.
It's fun to listen to, guys like you that write your own stuff, and you can kind of see where your mind is in an album. Like, oh, he's dealing with this.
Oh,
or
yeah.
He's dealing with
that.
That.
Dude, absolutely.
And it's fun because it's so true and it's so genuine.
Yeah.
You're like, man.
Well, I've told if it's kind of one of those things I've written. Like if I write a love song, I'm feeling some love. And if I'm writing one of those other kind of songs,
you're not.
I'm sure my wife's like, I wish you wouldn't write those. And I'm like, well, if it makes you feel any better, all the proceeds go straight into your purse. So, there you go, girl. You're being paid off. You know, you don't.
You didn't mind cashing the check from that song, did you?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
One time she said she's like, well, I'm not saying, I don't want this to sound like disrespectful, because it's not. I don't mean for it to sound like that. And I was like, well, I don't know what you're fixing to say.
But, you didn't preface this very well.
Yeah, but she's like, but it's not like it's a real job. And I said, well, you sure enough spend
the real money. Yeah.
She was like, oh yeah, that's true, right? I was like, right. Right,
awesome.
Girl.
That's awesome. I heard for the first time a couple days ago your song, The Old Man Said.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a mentor that's very similar to that, and that damn near jerked some tears out of my eyes, and I'm not a crier. That was one of those ones I'm like, I sent it to him, he goes, I don't understand. I'm like, you're not supposed to. That's what this is about. You aren't supposed to understand.
That song took me 15 years to write.
Yeah.
It was about an old man that, I mean, it's literally, I turned his words into a song, and he passed away hours before my first son was born.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you name him?
No. We already had the name for Jake.
Okay.
And I really didn't think Mr. Pete was going to happen.
Yeah.
It was.
So was it fast when he passed away, or was he? It was.
He was on the decline, and he literally, the whole song was, he called me up one Sunday after church, and he said, I'd like for you to come over here. I'd like to talk to you about some things. And he talked to me about just what it meant to be a man and a father and all those things that I put in that song. And asked if I'd like to have one last cup of coffee with him. And it was hard.
I bet.
I cried the whole way home. I think I had to pull over because I was like, I can't even see where I'm going. But I knew that was a goodbye.
Yeah.
And but he was funny. He had smoked for 75 years.
Oh my gosh.
And he said, can you believe after 75 years, he was 89.
He smoked his whole life.
He smoked his whole life. He goes, can you believe after 75 years, I let one of them doctors talk me into quitting? And he quit smoking, and it freaked his body out.
Really?
Yeah. He had a stroke.
Not that quitting smoking's bad, but
if you've smoked for 75 years
why
and you're
quit?
89,
What's the point?
Smoke that cigarette. He was funny. He had a stroke. They had this little tiny bathroom right off the kitchen where their laundry room was, and that bathroom was tiny. And he had a stroke and fell against the wall, kind of in between the wall and the toilet. And he said, brother, you want to talk about being in a tight spot.
With your pants down.
Yeah.
Going,
this is not.
The EMTs are not going to believe this.
He said, brother, talk about being in a tight spot. I was wedged in between that.
Rock and a hard spot, literally.
Yeah, he was great.
Jeez.
And that's what I love to do. I love to write. I love to sit there and just create, you know. I mean, it's like, I am not interested in any type of, when I see guys win awards for other people's songs, that just feels funny to me.
Yeah, I could 100% see that.
For me, and nothing against them, but for me, it's almost like, and I get that that's the way it's set up for some people, and for some people that's okay, but for me, it's not. And I'm a fan of the songwriter, so I'm glad that those songwriters have those artists to sing their songs, because that's how they make a living for their family. So that needs to happen, but not for me.
Yeah,
for me, for me, it would be like having an artist paint a picture, and then I put one of those lights behind it, and and then I trace it, and then win an award for tracing their.
Right.
That's just. But my mom's an art teacher, and I grew up, you know, admiring you know, the Guy Clarks and the Robert Earl Kings of the world. So
that's awesome. So one of the couple things that I ask all of my guests, one of them is why you hunt. We kind of talked about that, you know, just being with kids and being outdoors.
I enjoy shooting the bow. I mean, I enjoy shooting guns. I like getting up early. I like, you know, I got my little hunting backpack where I strap my bow on it, and there's enough stuff in there for me to sustain life for a month, even though I'm only going to be out there for a couple hours. That's kind of fun.
You find things in your backpack, you're like, I wonder where that went.
Yeah.
It's been in there probably 3 years, never touched it.
Oh, I've got snacks.
They don't even make them anymore.
I've got all kinds of snacks. I love watching the sun rise, the sunset. I love, you know, I love watching the quail. I love watching the dove. I love the turkey. I love, you know, raccoons crack me up. You know, those things are like, you know, I'm like, those are in West Texas. That's the closest thing we've got to a monkey.
Yep, 100% agree. They are like our little monkeys.
They're like a little monkeys.
Constantly into stuff.
Oh,
and yeah, the little bandits. They're funny.
They're funny.
My wife hates them because they get into all of our stuff.
Oh,
she makes me trap them all the time.
They're brilliant little things.
Oh yeah.
And but I just enjoy it. I enjoy, you know, my buddy has a ranch where we hunt out there a lot. But I enjoy just getting out there with the kids, no devices, campfires, cooking out.
Meaningful conversations.
Yeah. Shooting the 22.
Yeah.
You know, we set up a light and shoot the bow at night. You know, it's just fun. You know, people who don't like it, they haven't experienced it, you know.
Yeah.
And
I can tell you're a true outdoorsman. You're not out there just killing stuff. You want to watch the raccoons do what they're doing, or the quails doing what they're doing, and just be an observer of the whole thing. I love that. It's the way I was raised.
Unless it's hogs.
Well, yeah, that's a completely different thing.
Hogs,
I just see bacon running around. Is all I see.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those hogs get me. Those are the
the one thing. So we don't have hogs, but we have these Eurasian doves that
we've
are
got
a
those
pest,
too.
and we can shoot unlimited. And I'm telling you, my suppressed 17 Savage just hammers them. I shoot them all the time.
I've got the same thing. I've got a little suppressed 22, and you can buy these.
Where all you hear is the action.
Oh yeah, and I got these little. They're 55 grain. 22 bullets. They're
not a long rifle then.
They're a long rifle, but it's on a little short brass.
Okay.
I mean, it's the ugliest bullet you ever saw.
But they're not going very fast then.
Oh, they're slow, and you can't hear them, but you hear it when it hits those Eurasian dove. But oh yeah.
So what is one of the things that, you know, God willing, you have the ability to do like Mr. Pete did, where you have some time knowing that you're going to end and it doesn't happen tragically quickly. What are some of the things that you're going to be thinking about? What are the things that are really important to Aaron Watson?
It won't have anything to do with music.
No, really?
Yeah, I won't be thinking about music or shows or any of that stuff. I mean, I'd like to think about funny stuff, you know. One of the boys, you know, pooping in a bucket while one of them's hunting. You know, that's stuff that'll make you smile.
That's the stuff that you'll be thinking about.
Yeah, I'll just be thinking about stuff with my family and, you know, I remember when I sat down with my granddad before he passed away, I asked him, I said, "Are you scared?" And he said, "Well," he said, I don't know that I'm scared. He said, I'm feeling something kind of, you know, I'm feeling something like that, but he said, I'm also excited to go to heaven to meet Jesus. He said, it was the sweetest thing. He said, I hadn't got to see my mom and daddy in a long time, you know, and that made me go, oh, you know.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things. I think I'll be thinking about stuff like that, you know, all the loved ones that have passed on. And
that's interesting.
And also be thinking like, well, this is it. Here we go. We all go through it. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like I do with a lot of things. Sometimes you just got to go, all right.
Hold my beer and watch this.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, and it would be, and I'm sure when if you have the opportunity to be surrounded by those that you love, that would be just so comforting, you know. So, but hopefully I got a few more under the belt.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Hopefully you got a couple more tours before that happens.
That's right. Yeah, I don't see me ever stopping.
Well, I know you're a busy man. You probably got a lot to do yet today, prepping for the show tonight.
Yeah, we're getting ready.
Yeah, I'm excited. I got a crew with me. We're gonna cheer on my wife, my best friend from college.
Hey, we got to get y'all the VIP passes as soon as this is over.
Well, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah,
we're going to hang out and have fun. There's a couple people you met on my team that from Texas, and one of them actually introduced me to your music a long time ago, and they are excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited to be here, and you know, tell all your fans, let them know to follow me on Instagram and Facebook, because there's this big 10-point, and we're after it.
Well,
so stay tuned.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that happen. I hope your daughter shoots it, because that would be the cream of the cream right there.
She shot a hog. It was probably January of this year, and she shot this hog. Made a good shot, right? And I got it on video, and then I went there, and right behind the hog, there was a tail. And I said, it takes a heck of a shot to shoot one hog and then knock the tail off of another one, girl.
You're kidding me.
High five.
She did that?
Did you mean to do that? And she was like, what? I was like, well, you did.
Surprised you go, yeah.
Unless you scared that hog so bad that it dropped its you scared the tail off of that hog.
Literally scared the tail off.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Literally, yeah.
Well, that'll be exciting. Well, Instagram, Facebook, check out. I assume you got a website that's got all your tour dates on it.
Oh, yeah, all the tour dates, all that good stuff.
Check it out. Go to a honky tonk, get some awesome music, hang out with some cool people.
Heck yeah.
That's what I'm excited for, because these are our people. This is my audience, is the guys that are going to be walking through this building tonight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, everybody you're talking to, that's my bread and butter too.
Yeah.
So
that's very cool. Well, I appreciate the time. Can't wait to see the 10-point.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm just the guide, I'm in charge of snacks and
things that are in the backpack.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So
that's cool. Well, thank you very much.